Here we go. And action.
We're currently on the set of Wednesday Season 2 in Dublin.
We are in Ashford Studios.
We're shooting a ball scene.
The theme has a Venetian backdrop, so we have the chance to wear our party outfits.
Very good. Okay, cut there. Reset, guys, reset.
We haven't made it very far yet, but we are shooting the opening of the gala. Steve Buscemi just came in looking like a complete idiot on the gondola. He's got the most ridiculous purple floral outfit. Tim Burton has been calling him George Washington all day. The entire Addams family's together. Everyone's wearing dresses as big as a table. We're having to block out the scenes to make sure we're not bumping into one another. It's quite fun, actually.
Take 2 steps forward.
The gala that we're doing now, we talked about it when we first started because that was one of the biggest things, there's going to be an 18th century Gothic ball.
I think we first started talking about this look months ago. So to finally be in this place and be able to wear it and show it on screen and everything looks so beautiful with the lighting, it's just very gratifying.
Actually, yesterday was the first time that we'd seen it all in the ballroom together. It was quite a moment.
We probably manufactured over, almost 1,000 pieces of clothing for this scene. So that's a lot of making and dyeing and aging and prepping fabrics.
In the costume department, there's about 60 to now about 100 people, including the workroom, agent dyers, printers, costume standbys.
This is sort of the workroom adjacent stuff. It's buttons, notions, linings, things like that.
This is where we keep all the principal costumes here. So everything is lined up scene by scene, character by character.
This, to me, as an actor, is one of my favorite places to be. It's the costume house. My mother was an amazing seamstress. She still is. And so I was brought up with fabric bolts hanging around the house and walking on the shag 70s carpet with needles and pins.
This was basically a shed when we arrived. We've had to put windows in, we put lights in.
This is typical of what happens on these kind of projects. We don't have permanent spaces. We come in and inhabit a place and make it ours. So we have our cutting tables, our machines, and then we have this part that's the heart of it, really the workroom.
Walking into the fitting room for the first time and seeing what they've come up with and the structures and shapes. And, it's always really amazing to me that they could see something like a gala on a script and come up with something that's amazing and intricate and beautiful, yet not contradictory of the character and who she is.
Here we go. Weaves and then her and then go.
The old adage is that an actor is never an actor until the shoes are on.
Wardrobe is so incredibly important to developing a character, and I do feel like even going back to the first season when we first tried everything on, the black, the white, the hair, the makeup, everything about it, it is kind of hard not to start sitting up with a straight posture, and you realize it looks kind of silly to move too much because you look too alive all of a sudden. So it definitely helped, especially when it comes down to the physicality. And a lot of it was the costume kind of telling me what to do, and I just followed.
When we first started Wednesday Season 1, it was like a collaboration with Jenna, just trying to figure out who Wednesday is now. She is not like she was in previous times, she'd evolved. And also we wanted Wednesday to be more current and also for people to associate with her really in the real world.
What was very important to Tim was that we made these characters real. Even though they were quirkier and a bit more out there than anybody else's family, the fundamentals, people got. And if it's rooted in reality, you can play.
There's so many different routes that you could go. It's entirely subjective, but because it's so expressive, while also being very black and very dark, I think there's plenty of ways that we could go with Wednesday's costume. And considering she's in high school, it's a very experimental time in one's life. I definitely feel like you can kind of feel the shift in her age this season.
We looked at the scripts.
Yeah.
Because they dictate where the story's going. We were lucky with this one because it's very rich. You have contemporary, you have Pilgrim World, you have monsters, you have insane asylums, you have all kinds of worlds that you're creating. Obviously with Tim, you tend to go to the Victorian era just because it's a known kind of comfort zone for him and sort of feels right for the architecture of the places that we're working in.
The theme for this gala was Venetian ball, very Italian, and everyone's dressed in period piece clothing. It's very beautiful in there.
The gala is a fundraiser.
My character, Matisha, has helped on the fundraising committee, which she's very proud of. So she's making an extravaganza like no other extravaganza.
The motivation in our design was, what would Morticia have done? And so that's kind of our starting point. And then we just took the 18th century and did a spin on it of its today, combined with rental house materials and costumes, and sort of mixed it up and mashed it up and, had a blast.
There are quite a lot of 18th century costumes, but with the students, we've had more of a contemporary take on the look.
The 18th century is an amazing period to riff off of. I mean, many people have done it in fashion over the years. Galliano, the Adrian, the old costume designers from the 40s. So what we did is we took that vibe along with a new vibe and sort of mixed it up. The menswear is a little more true to the period in the sense of the silhouette than the women's, which we spun out more about just because it was more fun, there was more of it.
Action.
In the beginning, my first inspiration for costume was really Oscar Wilde, because she's, witty, she's droll, she has a sense of humor, but she's dry like Oscar Wilde. So I kind of did Oscar Wilde from here up, because it's almost like a men's tailored waistcoat from a certain period. And the shirt's kind of like a romantic shirt, but out of silk tulle. And then I realized that from the waist down, it needed to be a dress with some presence to be in the room with all the big costumes around it.
Something that I really appreciate about Wednesday is I feel like she toes a great line of always being feminine, but there's something about her that occasionally is masculine. She balances androgyny pretty well.
For her casual wear, this season, we tried to stay away from stripes and checks, even though that's what everybody expects Wednesday to be in. So we used different layers. Maybe we'd put a white t-shirt on with a sweater over the top so it creates its own pattern and texture.
With a character like Wednesday, I think it's very easy to become monotonous with someone who's so deadpan and straight. And this season was really interesting because I'm wearing my school uniform a lot of the time, but some of my free time clothes are a bit more 90s. So we started off the season kind of in the summer, so I'm wearing a t-shirt at some point, things like that. It's a bit different from first season, which was a bit more structured silhouettes.
Wednesday wears like quite a sporty look for Willow Hill. So one of the ideas was to have like a tracksuit that we could open up at the side, that you could have another pair of pants on. So it's just creating different layers so we can still have that monochromatic palette.
When I first met with Creative, I remember specifically saying, I want a modern twist to her, but retain the iconic look. This creation, for example, you have the classic Matisha dress.
This fabric, when I found it, was in between each of these kind of things that look like a road to me, were diamond strips, which we hand removed. I didn't want the brightness of the diamantes in the middle of it. I thought it was way more interesting without them, and especially for Morticia.
This is only one element of her gala dress.
As you can see, this is an exterior panier, which basically in the olden days, this would be under the garment, which would create that Louis XV skirt. So it's a little saucy. She's showing her underwear on the exterior, but it has everything that Matisha would love. Sharp edges, bones. It looks painful to sit in, and it is, but what you do for art.
I've got 3 different stockings on. I've got nude, I've got fishnet, I've got shorts, I've got a leotard, I've got the sheer shirt on, I've got a corset on that's locked in. The costume, I think I need at least a 40-minute heads up to put it on in the morning, which sounds crazy, but that is showbiz.
It's not easy to carry this dress around for 15 hours a day, but that's the job, because without all this, it'd be a much harder job for me. I haven't got to say anything, and I can just walk into the room and anyone would go, oh, she's Matisha Adams.
Colleen and Mark always ask me how I feel in the costumes, and I always feel great. And I feel great because their entire team, all their tailors, all the dressers, everybody looks and they kind of have a similar reaction, which makes me feel good and comfortable and confident. It's nice because there's such an incredible team here at the Wednesday set.
When we did see it all together, it felt good. It felt like we'd all done a great job together, that it was really a great team effort.
Yeah. I felt proud for us as a whole because it was a lot of work. Things have been handmade, hand-stitched, hired, rented, fitted. So yeah, it was altered. Yeah, exactly. So it's a great sense of achievement. And also seeing stuff on camera, you know, when you see like big scenes like the gala and everything like that, for me, that is the best part of my job.
You know, you have all these ideas and these clothes that you put on people, but when you see the actors actually wear them and start performing in them, it's really a great sense of happiness.
Let's see.
Look at us, one big unhappy family.
We're about to heat things up with the student dance routine.
Yeah, how was that? Very nice. Very nice. All right, cut there. Cut there.